Hey, I just woke up. Hi, collective. I hope everybody's having a good day or a good night, whatever time it is when you watch this video. Okay. I keep having the wildest dreams, yo. And like this dream I just had, I don't know if it's from a past life or if it's from this life. But part of me wants to say it's from this life only because of the things that were being talked about. A part of me kind of feels like a war is coming in the US. And I've had a lot of dreams about this war in the US, but like if you're tapped in, like it's different for you because it's like how the enemy has weapons that they use. It's like the divine bestows upon you gifts that you use to not have to fight the enemy, but to avoid the enemy and like lead your people to freedom. Because I was thinking about this movie that I had seen recently where this guy went to the military. It's one of the guys that played Spider-Man. I forget his name, but one of the guys that played Spider-Man. And in the movie, he said that it's against his beliefs to um, like hold a weapon or carry a weapon or use a weapon. And they like belittle him for it. Like they gave him a real hard time. And he ended up being like a, a ER person, like in the military. And he would always go back and like save like all his people. Like didn't matter if you only had one leg, didn't matter if you had no leg, if you were still alive and breathing, he went back and saved you. But God gave him favor over his life because he followed one of the commandments, or I don't know if it's a commandment, but he had favor because he didn't use a weapon. So he was able to save a lot of people. And in my dream, I was in this house. And at first the house in my dream now used to be the childhood home that I grew up in, but now it's changing into this bigger house where like I feel like I've seen this house too, but in like real life. But it's like a bigger house. But the bigger house is also guarded. The bigger house is like, I want to say it's like it's given like White House energy, but it's not the White House. It's more of like secret society house of like a bunch of influential um black people that fight against uh crimes against, other black people. And it's really big, actually. And there's so many segments in it. And in the dream, like, a bunch of people were gathering for a funeral for, like, a pastor that I guess was one of our pastors that we had. We went to church, and this is like giving like pre-slavery, but this is like, it's weird because I feel like it's like during slavery, but after we were free. But then it's also given in a place, in a state where slavery wasn't legal. And this is where this place existed. And like these people found out about it and they came to infiltrate it. And I had left the party because people didn't really like me. Or they weren't very like welcoming or accepting of me because I was kind of like I'm the one that's like peace and love. Like, I was the guy in the movie that didn't believe in fighting the enemy, but more so trying to draw peace between both parties and understanding that, we have different beliefs, and the only way that we can reach some type of resolution is by trying to have uncomfortable conversations. And even though these people have, gotten rid of a lot of us, at some point we have to understand that, like, we can't keep losing people just because, like, we won't back down, right? It was like playing the smart game. And when I was on, because I could use my power in my dream to like fly, right? And even when I think about it, when I was in my, like, when I was in Savannah, Georgia, like, I felt very called to like work out and become more fit, like. And then just thinking about like China, there's been so many countries that have been at war with us when it comes to our health. So imagine like a war actually taking place and them actually coming over here to actually do something to us. And everybody's got sickness or illness. Motherfuckers are out of shape. Like, bitches can't run. Like, that's how smart the enemy is, though. The enemy is that smart to weaken us before they take action, because America is a country that we have a right to bear arms type shit. So we gonna use them bitches, of course. Like, what the fuck? So they know that not only do we have a military, but the people are fighters too. So they want to weaken us within the mind, within the spirit, so that the citizens aren't capable of fighting, right? And people keep saying like, "Oh, there's not going to be another war," blah blah blah, and it's just like, it's questionable. Anyways, I will say though that there are extraterrestrial beings that are here to save us, to help us, because most of those people, the Israelites, right, I should say, are here on U.S. soil. This shit is getting quite deep. Anyways, but in the dream, I was on top of this building. I think it was a church. I couldn't tell, but I was watching people fight. So maybe this could have been while war was taking place. But I was watching people fight. So this could have been past life. I was watching people fight. or a demolition or something. I just heard that. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to figure it out. But I was on top of the building. I had flew up there. And I had watched our side versus their side. And our side had formed like, I don't know, with their bodies. I heard them spell out love. Or I seen them spell out love with their bodies. Like they laid down and they spelled out love with their bodies. It was such a strange like scene though, because of course like I could see ghosts, you know? And then like in the dream, there was this car and it was like this futuristic car. Which also made me just now think of some crazy shit. But it was like this futuristic car and they were trying to lure me over by them by showing me my familiars, which was like my two pets that I loved and cared about. Like, and my mom was like, oh my God, they found me. Right? My mind, right? My child mind. But my higher mind was like, this seems like a setup. You feel me? Like, this seems like a fucking setup. So I look to my left and I can't see anything, but because I have sight, right, I can see this futuristic car that was trying to lure me down this dark alley and they were going to try to kill me. But because I caught on to what it was, I instantly started levitating and levitated like beyond the point of like anybody being able to see me. They couldn't even see me. Right? And they have technology, right? This shit is weird, yo, because the more I'm starting to talk about this, the more I'm almost drawing these points of like, we know time travel has been real, right? So people from the future going all the way back to the past to stop like, it's like, because there's a love story also in this that matters a lot. Like two people coming together in a certain place or area that stops a lot of like adversity and it strengthens communities. It's like people who are existing in the worldly realm come into like come into like, you know, religious people, they get off their fucking high horse and they start listening to what the fuck we saying to unindoctrinate them and wake them up from our fucking spell. They start listening to spiritual people, realize that what we're saying is real, right? And then we form some type of like bond or something where we awaken them to their power, right? If they have it, right? Everybody has a fucking power though. It don't matter what the fuck it is, it's a fucking power. It don't have to be extravagant, but you have a fucking power and whatever the fuck it is, you need to cherish it, right? So that was pretty much what was going on in the dream. And that's why I was there. But people didn't like me because of that. I was different from everybody else. Whereas everybody else was religious, I was spiritual. But then not only was I spiritual, but I was a prophet. So yeah, there was one lady in like my significant other's like family that I could talk to about shit. I think it was her, but then I also think it was a past over loved one from my bloodline. But she was alive in this reality and I was telling her about it. But she was also religious. But she was a part of my family. I don't know, y'all. This shit is so weird. I'm trying to understand. It's so strange. Like it's so many overlapping layers. But in the dream, they were coming towards the house that we had for our community of people. And they were coming in, they were killing everybody in there. Like they were getting rid of everybody in there. But I had a power to where I can make myself invisible, and I could also change the reality around me to where, like, if somebody came in the space, it didn't look like what they were coming into. So I realized what was going on. I came into the house. I cloaked myself. I seen them like about to like go in and really go after everybody, and I knew we were gathering because of what happened to our priest. And I think the priest situation, I think somebody like assassinated him because he started speaking like in tandem, like trying to bring us together, like us spiritual black people and then us religious black people. Like he was trying to bring us together, but he was also like a Mason. So he was exposing the truth about masonry. And there's some type of contract or something with the white man and the black man that says that they can't do or expose certain truths beyond this point, right? And that they can only operate and get the resources and stuff that they do if they abide by this contract, right? But he threw that shit the fuck out the window and said, we making a new contract. Mind y'all, did I tell y'all I got asked to become a Mason? Wild, right? Anyways. So now I'm starting to understand some shit, right? Now I'm starting to connect some dots, right? So we had him like on a life support thing, right? And we knew like he wasn't gonna make it, but we were trying to make sure. Like it was like people didn't want to let him go. So everybody was kind of like gathering, like eating, like everybody's kind of like talking. Me and the person that I was supposed to be with or whatever, they were like a savior to me because this was somebody who was supposed to protect me from, the people who wanted to get rid of me because they knew the bigger purpose of why it was that I was brought into their lives. So he was also working to alter the to alter the change or whatever. And like bitch, whatever. A love story developed in the process, which wasn't the point. I guess I'll keep that segment to myself. But it sucks telling the story if I don't tell the part. But the part that really stood out to me the most is like the throat chakra energy. Like, a lot of the time, for a lot of us, we are experiencing past lives. And a crow is talking as I'm saying this. Um, and we're here to make a change, a different change than we made in our past life. This change is very personal when it comes to our people and people that we have lost because of the war that has been inflicted on our minds, bodies, and souls. There are a lot of us who are actually from the underworld and use religion as a cloak to be able to be closer with God. But that isn't what is making you closer to God. Bringing these chosen beings into your life and you relearning and unindoctrinating yourself and opening yourself up to the truth is what is going to give you that favor of a God. Because earlier today I woke up and I was like, well, what kind of relationship do the devil and God have together? Like, I know God's not just commanding him like, nigga, do my business and shut the fuck up, like pimping in his ass, right? Like, I'm pretty sure there's some type of love, there's some type of like union, there's some type of deep understanding that's there, that's not like there's no animosity, like there's no like the devil is really himself with God and God is really himself with the devil. Like I just was like, what's the dynamic? Like, Because that really matters, you know, it really matters. It really paints a picture. And I would love to have that conversation as well. Um, but what's the tea? Anyways, yeah. So back to this. It's just like you have to get yourself out of this world of playing this earthly game that doesn't serve your soul's purpose, because there are certain things that are going to happen in the US that are going to be unexplainable. And people are going to bring it down to war. They're going to bring it down to Trump. They're going to bring it down to Elon Musk. They're going to bring it down to shit that is beyond their actual control. But the truth is that a lot of shit that is supposed to not be real is actually real. Like the Anunnaki does not want Russia at war with Ukraine. A lot of the countries that don't have, like, they don't, because let's not say they don't have resources, because they actually got all the resources. But a lot of countries that these Caucasian people are doing science experiments on our people in, and moving our people and putting them in adoption and taking them away from their homeland and bringing them to the fucking US. Those places are a lot of places where biblical shit has happened and biblical shit exists and belongs there and is still there. And like the tombs that's being dug up, like all this stuff that's happening is the catalyst for, like, whenever I talk about the Avengers, like, it's funny because, like, it's not the Avengers, but it's the Avengers. Like, it's like my ancestors will walk this planet, and they are walking this planet, and they've been in hiding and in peace for so long because these people have used our shit against us to silence us, to make us invisible, to make us non-believable, to remove the belief from our people, to remove the power. And now that power is being initiated within all of us. So it's like, that's for a reason. Unity, community is very motherfucking important. Don't let that white man tell you that it's not, because it fucking is. And I only find that these okay, let me not. I was gonna go in on his ass. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go in on anybody. I'm just gonna make this, you know. Anyways. There's just a lot of shit that's going on behind the scenes. And y'all know I was so tapped into that stuff, and then, like, girl, life happened. It seems like the 3D world will happen to you. And then you gotta reposition yourself. Like, oh my gosh. So I guess I'm being repositioned. But all of my dreams today, because I went to sleep like twice. Once last night and then once again for a little nappy nap. After I got out of my bath, like, I meditated. I took a bath. And then I went straight to sleep, like the little baby I am. And all my dreams have been like me fighting in the spiritual. But me, like, helping people. Like, because there's certain people that are key factors in what is going to overturn humanity. Right? Let my people go energy. Like, that's really what it's giving. Like, that's really what it's giving. And, like, there's so many of us that, like, we know how big we are. But these situations that we have to deal with prior to what's about to happen and what positions we're actually about to play is so small. Like, it's so small. And then, like, within these new positions, these newer realities, like, we're gonna figure out just how big we are. And, like, this power that's being activated on us is wild. But they definitely trying to assassinate people in the spiritual. They're trying to go back in time and assassinate certain people. And you know how they say if you go back in time, like, don't take nothing, don't do nothing, because it's gonna change the whole course of reality. There are people that are actively trying to change the course of reality. But these are also people who don't understand the depths of the spiritual and how that shit can really get you sucked the fuck up and sucked away, bitch, into infinity and beyond, and you never come back. Like, dead ass. So I don't know. I just had to, like, say all that shit. Now that I've said that, I'm actually awake at this point. So I'm probably gonna go eat some pretzels. I hope you guys are having a good day or a good night. I will see you guys later. Bye.